When did she say that?
On the chat. I just didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you so much for reminding me.
Right.
As you guys can see, I think I'm showing early symptoms of dementia. So you do cross multiply here, right? So that's going to be x is 449 divided by 112%. I'm skipping a step here, but this should give you the right answer. Yep, 401. Okay, so question 16, the probability of winning a game is 7/10. So which expression is winning 2 consecutive games? So winning twice, right? If I'm winning twice, that means, so winning the first game is going to be 7/10, but this doesn't affect the second game. The second game is still going to be 7/10 winning, right? That's the chance of it. It doesn't change. So you times them together because they're completely independent. Question 17, what amount must be invested now at 4% compounded quarterly so that in 5 years it will grow to 60,000? So Zara, you asked this question, can you tell me which element am I looking for? Because it's compound interest, right? Obviously I'm using A equals P times 1 plus R to the power of N. So which prenumeral am I looking for?
The P.
Yeah, the P, right? So can you tell me what we know?
So you put 60,000 for A.
Mm.
And then it's 1 plus 4% over 4.
Okay, so 1 plus, so P, we keep it as is, right?
Yep.
1 plus 4% over 4 because it's quarterly.
Yep. And then to the power of 20 because
To the power
it's
of 20, 5 times 4. So don't you just do P equals 60,000 over that complicated thing?
Yeah. Wait, do you get the answer?
Yeah.
I think maybe I done something wrong on the calculator. I don't know.
Would it be because you rounded off this part first?
Probably.
And then is your answer just slightly different?
Yeah.
Then we'll be rounding it.
Yeah, okay.
Because see how it's to the power of 20?
Yeah.
If you actually rounded it, it might give you an answer that's slightly off.
Yeah, right, thanks.
All good. 18 years, you don't have to worry about it. Question 19, so life expectancy. What's the difference in between the two ages she calculated?
Miss, I didn't know how to I knew how to read the table, but I didn't know
Me too.
because they say that after 20 years, but then it doesn't I don't know, I was just so confused.
Okay, let's read it again. So in 1975, this woman was 45 years old and she was using this table. So it says on the vertical, it's time period. So in 1975, I'm looking at the second row at the age of 45, right? This is the first number. Any questions here?
No.
And then 20 years later, she recalculated her age, her life expectancy. So how old is she now? 20 years later.
65.
She's 65 years old. But then time also keeps on going, right? From 1975, you also add 20 years to it. So 1995. We're looking at year 1995 at the age of 65. So that's the last row at the age of 65. Correct? But then you're not just doing, make sure be very careful, you're not just doing 34 minus 19.8. That's what I would assume some of you did. Because this tells you how long she still has to live. It doesn't tell you the actual age, right? So at 45 years old, when she calculated it, she could live 34 more years. So it's going to be 45 plus 34 79 years old. She expected herself to live to 79. But then when she recalculated it at 65 years old, her age becomes, she still had 19.8 more years to live. So that's 84.8 years old. So you're comparing these two ages. It will be 84.8 minus 79. So it's 5.8 years. That's the age difference. One possible reason why there would be a difference is because maybe 20 years before, say, the whole country wasn't doing very well. The healthcare system wasn't doing very well, right? And then they were using that trend to predict for people's expectancies. But then 20 years later, everything's developed a lot more and healthcare has caught up on with everything else. So healthcare system's better. People can live longer. That makes sense. Okay. Any questions still?
No.
Question 20. A machine produces cylindrical pipes. The mean is 8. The standard deviation is what percentage? Is less than 7.96. So this is a normal distribution and percentage, right? So like I said, whenever you see percentage and normal distribution in one sentence, you know you're going to draw this line. So in the middle is the mean, which is 8, and then it goes up by 0.04 each time and goes down by the same number as well. So we actually don't really need to look at anything on the right-hand side because it says less than 7.96. So I just need to identify which, where this number is, and I see it's right here. It's 1 standard deviation less than the mean, right? So what's less than that? Less than that, we're looking at everything on this side. But then we know this is 34% already, the biggest part. And then if we draw a line across the middle, it's going to be 50% on each side. So on the left-hand side, there is 50% in total. But I already know this part I don't want to include is 34%. So this part I want to include is going to be 50%, the whole thing, minus the 34%. So that's how you get 16%. I feel like for this question, you're given extra information just by the looks of it. You can either use the course rule to do it, or you can use half AB sine C, right? Half AB sine C is 250. So half times 30 times x. You always look at the angle. So once you've identified the angle, it's the two sides that are right next to it. So it's these two sides, 30 times x. That's 250. So x is equal to 250 divided by a half times 30.
Miss, you have to do sine 44.
Oh, geez. Sorry, I forgot that part. So it's times sine 44. Thank you. That's 250. So x is equal to 250 over, and that should give you the right answer, right? Or, so this is method 1. Like I said, you're actually given extra information for this question. Method 2 is cos rule. So you have x squared. But then I think cos rule is slightly more complicated in this case because you need to, it's one of the adjacent sides. So it's cos 44 degrees equals, actually, 28 squared equals 30 squared plus x squared minus 2 times 30 times x. This will give you the same answer. And the reason why x squared is not on the other side is because if you label them, side C is equal to 28, and you have angle C. So according to the rule, you use the opposite side of the known angle on the left-hand side, right? So I guess for this question, it's definitely more straightforward if you just use the area formula. Okay,
Me?
question, huh?
Could you do question 24, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Which one did you choose?
I don't know why it can't be A.
Why it can't be A?
Yeah.
Because I see that you want to combine the numbers, yeah?
Yeah.
But what happens when you move the +1 to the right-hand side, to the left-hand side? It becomes -1.
Yeah.
The -4 minus 1 is -5.
Yeah.
But then in the choice, it's -3. It should be -5 here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everything else is correct. Did anyone else think any other options correct?
Thank you, Miss.
Oh, good. All right, question 25. So insurance company offers customers. This is such a long question. If a customer is eligible for more than one discount, subsequent discounts are applied to the already discounted premium. The combined compulsory third party and comprehensive are always applied last. So the $50 is always at the end. Jamie has 3 insurance policies, including CTP, comprehensive. He has used it for more than 8 years and he's never made a claim. The base is 870, so how much will he need to pay after discount? All right, so a multi-policy discount is when you have more than 2 insurances. That's a 15%. And no claim. So if the person doesn't make any claim, then they also get a 20%. But that's based on if they have already had it for at least 8 years, which Jamie is, right? He's been with this company for 8 years. So he hasn't made a claim. So he definitely is eligible for the no claim discount. He has 3 insurance policies, including combined CTP and comprehensive. So that's definitely multiple, which means he gets 15% off as well. So if okay, so it's applied last. Let's say 870, that's how much he needed to pay. That's the original amount. You can first apply the 15%, right? If I apply 15% to it, basically it's a 15% decrease from the original price. And then you apply the second discount, the no claim discount, which is 20. So that means I'm decreasing this whole thing by another 20%. So it's like you decrease an amount twice, but in a series. And it says you give the discount for CTP at the end. So minus the 50 at the end. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah, that's the answer. So I'll just quickly explain it again. He is eligible for everything, right? He's a loyal customer. He hasn't made any claims. He has multiple insurances with this company. So he gets all of these discounts. And all these things are just telling you. So the first sentence is just telling you that you need to apply the discounts one after another. So even though it says 15% and 20% here, it doesn't mean you're applying an overall 35% of discount. You need to do it like this. So you apply the first one first, and then a second one after. And then you minus $50 from it afterwards. So yeah, this question looks hard, but it's actually okay. Question 26. Did anyone ask question A?
Yeah.
I didn't think this was, is this question crossed out?
No, it's not.
It's not? That's weird.
No.
So
I
you
only
captured,
remember this from bio. Like, I don't know how to.
Yeah, miss, we did it in bio. That's why I knew how to do it.
okay. He captured, tagged, and released 18 of the chickens. Later on, he caught and found 4 of them had been tagged. I think that's assuming the percentage of chickens he tagged is the same overall. So if you take random sampling, the percentages are going to be the same. So if later on he caught 24, so he in total tagged 18 chickens, right? But then later on in the 26 chickens he captured again, he found 4 of them were tagged. So this percentage is going to be 4/26. That's tagged percentage 1. Second one, he caught 18 chickens out of the whole thing, right? And then you just do cross multiply, if I'm not mistaken. Is the answer 117? Guys? Guys, what's the answer?
Yeah, miss, it's
It is?
117. I just checked it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you guys actually posted in the group. 21, 24, and 25. So I've done them, yeah, so far? 21, 24. Okay, 21 is scrapped out. All right. Next page.
Miss,
Huh?
can you also do 26B if you don't mind? That one's a bit confusing.
Okay. So this is the formula you're using. Adult dosage is 3150. A children is 35 and is to take that much. So how many tablets should they be taking? So dosage, okay, sorry. So it says each tablet has 525, right? But then with this formula, you can only work out how much is the recommended dosage for children. I guess at this stage, if you don't know how to go about it yet, don't worry about it. Just put everything into the formula because the formula's here. You definitely need to make use of it one way or another. So dosage is what you don't know yet. That's equal to 35 kilos times adult dosage, 3150, divided by 70. That's going to be the children's dosage. And that's 1575 milligrams, right? That's how much that's recommended to, for children daily. And it says each tablet has this much. So if one tablet is 525 grams, milligrams. Then how many tablets will give you this much dosage? And that's 3 exactly. So children should only take 3 tablets every day. All right, moving on. So I only have G at the moment. Is there anything before G that I need to talk about? C?
Miss, G was
F?
crossed out.
Yeah, okay, F. F is also crossed out.
No,
Anything
F
else?
is not crossed out. F is not crossed out.
Miss, can you do E, the first one?
Yep. F would definitely be crossed out, wouldn't it?
Miss, it's not.
You don't know the Earth's distance. So
That's
you don't know the area.
It made no sense, but I don't know why it wasn't crossed
Yeah, so don't worry about it.
out.
You
Alright,
wouldn't be asked a question like this. The table shows the relative frequency. So relative frequency is probability, right? So you know everything else other than red. What should everything add up to be? All the possibilities added together, how much should it be?
1.
1 or 100%. So you do 1 minus everything you know. And that will give you the answer.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, question G.
Miss, that one's crossed out.
G is crossed out.
Yeah.
Miss, you know the formula sheet for these papers?
They're different than the ones you'll get.
Yeah, they're so in detail. So lucky.
What do you mean? Don't you find
Like
these
a whole-
tests harder than the 2019 one?
No, this is more easy because you can just refer back to the huge formula sheet.
What do you mean?
Everything.
It's so hard.
Easy.
The
20
later ones were easier.
27 to 30 will be your homework plus the replacement questions. Replacement questions, I have also put them up on Trello if you haven't gotten the book. Okay, so let's look at quiz. With the quiz, actually, did anyone use a weird Gmail address? Like at this stage, I'm not even like trying to tell you off or anything, but if you actually did it, then I feel like maybe someone is, because the Trello group is public, maybe someone got an access to it and then they did the test. So I was thinking maybe I'll just start posting these like links in our group chat instead of putting it on Trello.
Did they get a bad mark or like what?
No, very bad.
So someone did it with a like
Miss,
bad email.
But
Shazza,
it
what
was
do you
like
mean? I got
all
one.
their answers was 8. So it wasn't like a serious attempt.
What? Miss,
The
but I
people would do
still.
it to actually scan for answers.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Miss,
But
I
yeah,
still can't
just
believe
for-
I got one. Like, are you joking?
1 out of
No, like
25.
I was being serious. Yeah, I got one. And I was like, what?
I was actually surprised.
Miss, are you sure it's not your system? Who else got like a 1?
They were past questions.
You and a
that
hacker.
you did it before. How did you
Nah,
get
Miss, your
one?
test is messed up. I know. How did I get 1? I'm like 100% sure I got more than 1 right.
Let me see, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Responses. Let me also just tell you the summary of people's marks distribution. I'm not going to say exactly who got what. So the highest is 16. Actually, 4 of you got 16. And then there's a 13, a 12, and that's it. Everyone else failed.
Miss, what are we gonna do after we finish the textbook?
Finish the what?
Like this book.
Then we'll do trial papers.
Fatima, it never ends.
But isn't this? I didn't get it. Isn't this the HSC papers?
Yeah. But you take trials before HSC.
Oh yeah. What about that?
Yep, Zara, you didn't get anywhere close.
Miss, what even? No, Miss,
Oh,
I
you
swear to
click
God,
again?
your system is hacked or something.
Just see what you did wrong so it's in the system.
Zara, go to the email and check like what your answers were and see if that was your real answers and see if it was wrong.
Does it tell you what you done?
Oh, we wasted too much time, yeah? Everyone else is falling asleep.
Okay.
Alright, so starting the first question. So the UTC of Auckland is 12, positive 12, and then the UTC of Chicago is negative 4. So what's the time difference between them? Is this 7? If at this stage you still can't do subtraction of negative and positive numbers, then I hope at least you're a nice person and can find a good husband to support you for your whole life.
What?
Seriously. Positive 12
Miss, I swear to God, I got that one right. Don't
minus
even.
5. That's going to be 17, yeah? Not 7. They're 17 hours apart. So these two places are 17 hours apart. So Chicago is here. Auckland is here. So Auckland is ahead by 17 hours. So if it is 2 p.m. in Chicago, then in Auckland, it's going to be 2 p.m. plus 17 hours, right? So it's going to go into the next day. So 2 a.m. first, I add 12 hours to 2 p.m. and then plus another 5 hours to it. So that's 7 a.m. So if it was Thursday before, it will become Friday now. So 7 a.m. Friday. That's D. Our second question. Jana, I apologize. When you asked me this question, I didn't see there was an actual part on top of the image. Because once again, I didn't make this test. I didn't see that part. So it says for the Pareto chart, what's the percentage of students that gave the reason family? So family is here. And I said with cumulative percentages, you do the current one minus the previous one. Right? Where's the previous one? The previous one is slept in. So currently, how much is this? This is around 67-ish. And then if you do this one, is it 40? 40-ish. So this will give you 67% minus 40%. That's 27%. So approximately 27% because I know I approximated the 67, right? So where is choices? So the answer is 28%, which I came pretty close to. So the answer is 28%. Don't forget, you're doing the current one. So the one you're looking at, family, minus the previous. That's how you find the actual percentage from cumulative. Next question, for the given spinning wheel, if it's spun this much, then calculate the expected frequency of getting an even number. Okay, so for this one, even number from 0 to 36, there's going to be 19. Is it 19 even numbers? 19 out of 37. So that's the probability, right? So expected frequency is the same as expected number. So 19 over 37, that's the probability of getting an even number, and then times it by how many times you're doing it for. and that's 9,500 times. I don't know how some of you got 500 or 5,000. Did someone do like exactly the same thing but with 18 over 37? Oh, it's actually 9,000. So are there only 19? So 18 even numbers.
Yeah, Miss, that's what I did.
0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. That's, isn't that 19? There should be 19 high.
Mr. Zero count,
Yeah.
but you can't half 0.
Does it have, it says it goes from 0 but
But
So-
even numbers.
0 is an even number. Or is it?
No, how? Because then you can't even share anything. There's nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so 0 is not an even number then. So it's just these
Yeah.
18 numbers, yeah? So 9,000 times. Next question. So the area of the rectangle is 18. Calculate the parameter. This one gives you its width to area. You know the area is 18, which means you go to this point. This is 18. So the width is 2. I feel like we've done this question. The width for this, yeah, we have definitely. Width is 2 centimeters. If the area is 18 and the width is 2, that means the length is equal to 18 divided by 2, right? For this rectangle, it's 9 centimeters. So the parameter is going to be 2 times 2 plus 9 times 2, which is 22 centimeters. Next one. David earns a gross income of 890 each week. 25% will be deducted in taxation. David budgets to save 20%. So how much does his budget to save? So you need to first work out a net income, right? Oops. Sorry, my drawing pad just got disconnected. Here we go. So net income is going to be his gross income minus deductions. So it's going to be 890 minus 25% of it. That's what the question says. So that's 667.50. This is his net income. But then the question just wants you to find out how much does he budgets to save, right? So it says David plans to save 20% of the net income. So you do 20% times this value, which is 133.5. So this will be the answer. Okay. Next one. So you have company A and company B both charged 360 for this. Calculate how much cheaper it is. Okay. You will need to find the two lines, because on the graph, if you just try to do 5, say 5 is here, you can't tell exactly how much that is equal to, right? What's this difference? You don't know. Instead, you need to find the 2 lines. For company A, you have 2 points. The origin, it goes through the origin. It also goes through 360, these 2 points. So that means the gradient is equal to 360 divided by 360 minus 0 divided by 3 minus 0. So the gradient is 120. And the y-intercept, B, is very easy. It's just 0 because it starts from the origin. So that means y equals mx plus b. B is 0, m is 120. So the line is y equals 120x. That's for A. For B, it goes through, first of all, 0.75. That's the y-intercept of B with the plane. And then you also have 360, this point. So the gradient is equal to 360 minus 75 over 3. And that's equal to 95. And the y-intercept, B, is 75, right? That's what we have already established. So y is equal to 95x plus 75. These are the 2 lines. So now, if a car's hired for 5 hours, how much is B cheaper than A? You just substitute 5 into both equations. So for company A, once again, I feel like we have done this question very recently. So y is equal to 120 times 5. If you hired it from company A, it will be $600. If you hired it from company B, 95 times 5 plus 75, that's 550. So the price difference is 600 minus 550, $50. So far, I feel like all these questions have appeared at some point, right? So
Yeah, it's not past HSC papers.
Yeah, it does say a lot about how much you have understood everything so far and how well or consistent you have been with your homework. I'm not saying if you didn't do well in this, it means you're slack with homework. It's more that maybe you need to spend more time on revising everything that we've learned.
Or maybe the test was just messed up. Miss, I'm serious. Like,
No,
I could not have gotten 1. That's like impossible.
but they're literally from the questions you've done.
Yeah, so I got them right. I don't know how I got 1.
There's no point blaming the test, right?
Yeah, I'll just try harder next time.
Yeah. I think with the stopping distance question, you need to have the formula. So the stopping distance is your reaction distance plus braking distance. So reaction distance, 1.5 seconds. And it's 70 kilometers per hour. How do you change kilometers per hour to meters per second? Does anyone remember? How do you change kilometers per hour to meters per second?
Don't you divide times by 3.6?
You got the number right, but are you dividing or multiplying? Divider, right? So from this 2 meters per second, you need to divide by 3.6. And why am I doing that? That's because it asks me for the stopping distance in meters. It also tells me the reaction time, timing second. So you have to convert it. So this, it's going to be speed times time plus the braking distance is 0.01 times speed squared, but the speed is in kilometers per hour. So that means you can just put in the 70 straight away. So speed is 70 over 3.6 times 1.5 seconds plus that. Okay, next question. The time in Brisbane is 4.5 hours ahead of the time in New Delhi. John flew from New Delhi to Brisbane via Singapore, and his plane left New Delhi at 11:30, stopping over, and arrived in Brisbane at 9 a.m. So the first thing you've got to do is draw the timeline to see which one's ahead, which one's behind. So it says Brisbane is ahead by 4.5 hours. So it doesn't really matter what time zones they're in. I know they're 4.5 hours apart. And New Delhi is here, Brisbane is here. And then the next thing you've got to do, because you're traveling into another country, is to change the departure and arrival time to the same countries. Let's just use New Delhi as the unified time zone. So it says departure was 11:30 a.m. And then it arrived in Brisbane at 9 a.m. the following day. So we need to work out what time that is in New Delhi, right? So you go backwards by 4.5 hours. 9 a.m. minus 4.5 hours. That's going to be 4:30 a.m. So that means it actually took 11, so from 11:30 a.m., I'm going to draw it on a timeline so that's easier to understand. So from 11:30 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. the next day, right? So what you can do is you first go to, say, 11:30 p.m. That's going to be 12 hours. And then from 11:30 p.m., if it's too hard, change it to 12 a.m. first. So there's going to be 0.5 hours here. And then from 12 a.m. to 4:30, that's straightforward. That's another 4.5 hours, right? So in total, they add up to be 17 hours in total. That's how long it took. But then that's including the 3-hour stopover in Singapore. So the time he actually spent on flying would be 17 hours minus the 3-hour stopover. So 14 hours. Let me know if you have any questions.
Miss, for these questions, can you pick whichever time you want to convert? Or
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't make a difference. I just like to use the departure. So whatever country the person's departing from, it's just my habit of using it as the time zone. But if you like to use the arrival countries, it's really up to you. It doesn't make a difference at all. So whenever you see these questions, once again, 3 steps: find the time difference, draw them on a timeline. Second, work out the departure and arrival times, and then you find out how many hours that is. All right, next one. This triangle is right angled. AB is 13, ABC is 62, and it wants you to find how much x is equal to. Okay, so you can't find x straight away, right? Because I feel, I've explained this question twice. You know the area for this triangle is 30, and you know this angle, 40 degrees. So that means I actually used this side, nx, to find out how much 30 is equal to. But then you don't know how much AC is. With AC, you're able to find it by using sine in the big triangle ABC. So AC, sine 62 degrees is equal to AC over AB, which is 13. So AC is equal to sine 62 degrees times 13. Which is 11.48 centimeters. So now half AB sine C equals the area, right? The area is 30, and you know one of the sides is 11.48. The other one is x. A is equal to 30. So x is equal to 30 on the top, a half times 11.48. That will give you the answer. I think this question is from 2018 or 2019. I remember it very, very vividly. All right, depreciation. So what's the approximate depreciation as a percentage? So it's balance declining. S equals V0 times 1 minus R to the power of n. Salvage value is 16300. That's equal to 19900 times 1 minus R to the power of 1 year later. So n is equal to 1. So it's really just this times 1 minus R, right? And then expand the bracket. So if you move this to this, the numbers to the same side, and I'll just divide it by the number already. So I'm skipping a step here. So R is equal to 0.18. This is what you'll get. But this is a decimal. To change a decimal into percentage, times it by 100. So R is equal to 18%. Some of you didn't do that. Some of you just did 0.18%. Okay, this question. So what's more than 50 and less than 80 cents? And it tells you it's going up by 5 cents at a time, right? So you have 55 cents. 0.55, 0.60, 0.65, 0.70. I'm just going up by 0.05 here, 0.75. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different possibilities. That's out of how many? 20. So it's 5 out of 20. 1/4. And that's the end. These questions are all from the papers that we have done. So I really want you to take a moment, if you didn't do very well in this, really take a moment to reflect on why you didn't do well in it. It's not like anything's changed at all. Some of you did pretty well. I think 16 is a pretty good mark. It's not just knowledge retention. I don't think it's about that. It's also about whether you just let little things go, right? If you were like, okay, so there's not much working out to this question, for example, for this one, there's not much working out, so this question must be easy. I feel like this is a lot of your logic, because there's not much working out, it's easy. But that's not true. Some questions just don't require working out, but it requires a lot of thinking, right? And also, I think I've said it before, but with math, to be able to do well in it, rote learning is definitely a very important part to it. The more you practice, the better you'll get. if you can't do a certain question, redo it as many times as you need. You will get it. And all of these questions, in the past year's papers, a lot of these 3-mark questions, for example, this trigonometry question, it looks slightly different, but we've seen many examples where there are 2 triangles and you need to deduce one side from the triangle you actually need for, using trigonometry, right? We've done many of these questions, 3 marks. We've done many flights, time differences questions. Same steps, 3 marks. Finding equations and solving simultaneously, once again, most likely a 3-mark question. It really takes a lot of practice and consistency to be good at it. And I know some of you are very consistent. You're good with homework, right? But then maybe you just have something that you're not clarifying. You need to really identify what you need help with. You can't just be like, oh, I understand it now, I'm okay then. It doesn't work like that. And you need to also acknowledge that improvement is a very, very slow process. So be patient with yourself. Never ever give up. And I'm here to help. I think if you don't have any motivation or if you have already given up, then there's nothing I can do to help you. It's only when you are actually, it's like when someone's drowning, for example. If that person's not trying, if I give them a stick, they're not taking it, then I'm not going to be able to help them, right? It's only when they have the will to live and then I give them a stick. And that's when they will survive, if that makes sense. So most of it comes from your motivation and how hard you try. If you keep trying, I'm sure one day you will get good at it. You will improve. You will see, you will see hope, I guess. All right, so that's the end of today's lesson. Could you please make sure you finish your homework and submit it on time tomorrow? So once again, questions 27 to 30 from the 2015 paper, plus the replacement questions for the for that year. You can leave the group chat if you don't have any more questions.
Bye, Miss.
Yeah.